Pottery lovers are headed to the Buckeye State for the 30th Annual American Art Pottery Association Convention, and you can bid on your favorite pieces or just take a look around. And this morning we welcome in Paul Katrich with the association to tell us more about the event and perhaps how to know if your old pottery could be worth something. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Oh, thanks for coming. And you brought some pieces here of some examples of pottery that maybe you guys are looking for.
I did indeed.
And what do you have here?
Oh, we have some wonderful things that some very generous dealers have loaned us for the occasion. In fact, a number of pieces which were made near fair state of Ohio, which is why we keep coming back here. It's the alpha and omega of pottery manufacturing. This piece is a beautiful, rare early piece of Roseville from about 1900 called Ariel, I believe is the name of it. This is a little later piece of Roseville of the same company called Bonita. I've actually made the piece that you see here, which will be an auction to benefit the organization on Friday evening. Beautiful piece of Weller pottery from Zanesville, Ohio, Sicard ware, and this is a piece of Fulper from New Jersey.
Now, how do you know if you do have something that's worth some money?
Well, if you find it beautiful, it's worth something automatically. Don't worry about the monetary value of it. You can bring it to our organization. You can come to our convention over the weekend. You will never have a larger group of assembled experts to take a look at your pieces, and they'll tell you what you've got.
And I was asking you about how do you know if something is like fake besides the made in China stamp that's
well, don't discount the made in China stamp. That can tell you a great deal. The history of how long you perhaps had it around. Does it have a nice look, a flow to it? Is the glaze deep and rich and pretty? You know, if you like it, it always has value. Marks can be deceptive. There's a lot less fake material floating around in this type of like a work like this beautiful elaborate piece of Sicard Lusterware. It's made of a special inglaze fired luster technique that could not be replicated now for love or money. There's no possibility that could be faked, and really none of these could be that effectively. It would be very transparent to somebody in the know.
Now, say you have a piece that's like this, might have like a little chip or something like that. Is it still worth something?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was these pieces. This piece is more than 100 years old now, as is the blue one on the end. If something that's fragile like this they're going to acquire some wear in the fullness of time. Ancient Greek vases are put back together in museums. Nobody's going to throw them away because they're in 100 pieces.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. We're going to talk more with you in the next hour. But let's get tell people when the event is itself. It's going on right now, but it's this weekend, April 23rd at 5:30 is the preview, starting at 3:30 though. It's at the Holiday Inn at the Cleveland South. It's a Rockside Road exit off of I-77. So if you're familiar with that area up there.
Friday night is our auction to benefit the organization. The public is welcome to all of these events, and Saturday and Sunday is the actual pottery show where there will be experts available to anybody that brings in a piece of pottery and pays their admission, and we can perhaps tell you what you have.
Very good. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.
You know, whether it's an old vase or a teapot, most of us have something sitting around that may be worth some money. Paul Katrich with the American Art Pottery Association joins us now to tell you exactly what to look for at home as you're rooting through some of that stuff, or you may have it, you know, sitting out for years and not even realize.
Well, you know, Ohio is such an important center of manufacture of pottery for 100 years. Even now, there still remains some vestiges of that. And everybody worked for a pottery or had a grandfather that worked for a pottery. There are still pieces turning up in attics and garage sales, and I often wonder what treasures might be sitting on a mantelpiece that no one has yet identified.
They just don't realize
Absolutely.
it. Now, right here, we've got 5 pieces, and you said what the value on these pieces, if you had to ballpark it.
The totality of we have some very precious things here. The Sicard piece, and this is an early piece of Roseville. I'd say easily $10,000 worth of items just on these few pieces sitting on the table.
5 pieces alone. Now, you said a lot of these come from the East Liverpool area and some from Zanesville?
Zanesville particularly. Zanesville was really the epicenter of American art pottery manufacture in the town of Roseville. Also, there are a number of other locations. There are at least 4 or 5 different potteries operating in Zanesville.
I'm afraid to pick any of these up, but on the bottom, does it say where they come from? I don't want to, especially since you told me how much they're worth. Not touching.
You know, it's funny, only in retrospect are the marks on a lot of these potteries important. You think at the time they would have been bought in a high-end jewelry store or a gift shop, and people would have known what it was a given that they would have known. They really wasn't a concept that they were still going to be passed around a table 100 years on and known. So it's up to us to figure out what they are.
Okay, now let's get down to it then. If somebody has some of these pieces or things, pottery at their house, and they wondered how much they were worth. There's something coming up this weekend.
Yes.
And it's in the Cleveland area.
Indeed.
So it's not too far to go. We're talking about a pottery show auction. It's on April the 23rd at 5:30. That's the preview starting at 3:30. So actually, you could bid on items.
Bid on items and have a wonderful time. All manner of pottery, some contemporary work also. There are a number of potters. I am a working potter myself that practice in this genre and do sell within the antiques community.
Okay. And also, though, after that auction, you could bring pieces there and have somebody appraise
Well, Saturday and Sunday during our show, which is at the Holiday Inn in Independence, people with their admission are welcome to bring along pieces of their pottery, and you will have some of the most eminent experts in the country to tell you. If they don't know what it is, no one's going to.
Okay, Marcia, if we can put that up one more time, the graphic, I want to show the location. You said it's the Holiday Inn, and it's right at on Richmond?
In Independence.
Independence. Okay, there it is. Rockside Road exit off of
yes.
I-77 if you're interested. Now, you just have to pay like an admission fee.
That's correct,
And
yes.
then they will go over your stuff for free. About how much does it take a cost to get in?
Oh boy, I was afraid you were going to ask me that. It's not expensive. I think it's $5-7, something along those lines.
Something like that to find out if you've got a
if you come and discover that I've given you an inaccurate quote, we will discount you appropriately.
Okay, well, very exciting though. Beautiful pieces,
Thank
and I'm
you.
sure it sparks a little interest there because people have.
They've lasted 100 years, perhaps 100 years more.
All right, thanks so much for being here this morning.
My pleasure.